And look who's joining us. Charlene Tilton is here, beloved and celebrated actress and singer, star of stage, screen, and television, coming into our lives for so many years, entertaining and making us think and smile and cry and laugh. Charlene, welcome to the Jim Masters Show. It's a real pleasure to have you here, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you.
I know we've been putting this together for quite some time, and you and I, we are technical wizards, aren't we?
Well, I am. I'm getting there.
Well, it's so nice to have you here, and congratulations on everything, of course, that's happened throughout your life, but even the recent things that you've been working on. I know that, believe it or not, even though you've seen her on television and film and on stages all these years, folks, she is a mom. She's a grandmother. She's going to be scooting her grandson off to karate soon, too. So you are busy there in Nashville. You are living the life and family first, right?
Always family first. Always, always. So, but I'm blessed. I have my daughter and my two little grandsons live 2.8 miles away from me. And so I'm with them every day.
I absolutely love that. And how were you able to balance that? Is that something you've always been able to balance, or did you have to learn to balance all of the work and the projects and productions you've been a part of with family? When did you realize that there had to be a balance in your life in that area?
I don't know how people balance it. I had my daughter at a very young age. I was on the show filming Dallas, and at the end of season 7, they chose not to renew my contract and on Dallas. And I was shocked and everything, but it really was a blessing, because I was able to I was 23 years old. I was a single mom, had my beautiful daughter, and I was able to be a mom. And I have not balanced. I've just chosen not to do certain things. Like when my daughter was starting high school, I was offered to play Rizzo in Grease on Broadway. Do you remember back in the day, like Rosie O'Donnell came in to play Rizzo, Brooke Shields, and they were all, it was a revolving door of different wonderful people, all different types, to come in and play Rizzo. And I went to New York, and I just realized there was no way I could do that. My daughter was looking forward to going to high school with her friends that she'd grown up with. It was a performing arts high school. There was no way I could let her start high school and me be in New York, or bring her to New York and not do the high school. So it's not balancing. It's just sometimes pick and choose, honestly.
Exactly right. I've learned to do that myself, and it gets a little crazy sometimes, but you seem to be able to do it, and you've got a beautiful life there in Nashville. For folks who don't realize, who think you're in LA or elsewhere, when did Nashville become your home, Charlotte?
9 years ago. My daughter is a wonderful singer-songwriter. Her name is Cherish, and she was offered a recording deal and a record deal. And her dad is a country singer, Johnny Lee, who did all the music for Urban Cowboy, the song, Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places.
Oh, yeah.
He's had several platinum albums and
that's right,
gold albums and things. Anyway, she was offered a record deal. And so she moved out here, and it looked like she was going to be here. Then she got married and had 2 kids. Well, the record deal went south, which is okay. That happens all the time in the music industry. But she's here. She's got 2 kids and a life. And so we are here. And, I never thought I would not be in Los Angeles. That's where I was raised. But we love living here.
It's a beautiful spot to be. And it's the ultimate place for music, especially in America. It's become the true capital, the hub, right?
Yes, but there's also, believe it or not, a lot of filming. Ryan Murphy, genius of the world, is going to be bringing my favorite show, 911. He's going to be doing 911 Nashville. So I am praying and putting it, I want to do 911 Nashville. I love that show. With my Angela Bassett. I love that show.
You'd be perfect for that.
I love it. I love it. With your emergency.
Oh,
I'm your emergency. Okay.
Right. Well, like I said, Charlene, you truly have graced us with your wit and wisdom for so many years. People absolutely love you. And when I was telling people you were coming on our show, everybody was super excited because
Mhm.
you're the real deal. You're funny. You're warm. You're a straight shooter. You really care about people. You're empathetic. You're a very hard worker. That's, the industry knows that. That's why they count on you all the time for projects and productions
So
and
kind.
talk
Thank
about
you.
some of them. You're one of those people that people go to because you are there as somebody who is real. You hurt, you laugh, you feel just like people, and you're so beautiful about sharing that with everybody. They feel so connected to you through the characters you've played, but also Charlene the person.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
I mentioned the beautiful painting that's on that wall behind you gets a lot of action. That is not something you just picked up at the store, right? That's something that's familial.
Yeah, this is something my daughter did years and years ago. She dabbles in different forms of artwork. This was a long time ago. I don't know. She dabbles in spackle and painting and drawing, and she's a brilliant artist. Actually, she was going to toss this one out. This was just something she did, and she was going to throw it out. And I said, "No, I'll take it."
Good idea. It's absolutely beautiful. Do you dabble in any of that? Are there hobbies, different things you do that people aren't aware of? I know you like to cook, right?
I love to cook.
Yes.
I'm not a good artist, but I do love to cook. I'm a great cook. I'm a wonderful baker. So yeah, I can't
What's the
sew a button
Tilton?
on.
Wow.
Can't sew a button on, but I love to cook.
So if we came over for dinner and we're doing the show there in Nashville in your kitchen, what would be some things you'd have on that kitchen table?
Well, it depends what you got a hankering for, honey. In Nashville, as I was waiting to come on, I literally, because I'm trying to get more veggies in my diet, blah blah blah. So I just did some organic rice with organic. I did organic vegetables chopped up with different spices, turmeric, cumin, and blah 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 with that rice. And it's sitting on the stove right now. My place smells delicious. And I just tasted it right before I got on the air, and I was like, "Ooh!" I mean, it's just something easy and simple
Something
I
easy
can
and
do for
simple.
myself. That I'm trying to be healthy and not just grab for the cheese and crackers.
Always on the run all the time. Exactly. Which these industries, sort of breed some of that eat and run and get back on set and do your thing. Of course, everybody knows you widely for playing Lucy Ewing on the CBS primetime drama soap opera. But if you go back further, Freaky Friday came into your life too. Tell us, Freaky Friday. Yeah, that was still a cult
Oh
favorite.
my god!
Yeah, we
Oh
did a
yes,
little digging, here.
yeah. That was the one with. I'm making that face at Jodie Foster because that's when she's just switched places with her mother, and who was played by Barbara Harris. And
Yes.
I'm like, what's going on with
What's
you,
going on?
Annabelle
Right.
Andrews?
How did that happen? So for you, when you were a kid, did you always want to be an actress, a singer?
Oh,
What happened early in your family and your upbringing that might have led to this, or were there other people that spotted this in you?
um, a couple of things happened along the way. One time, I remember it like it was. I mean, such a vivid memory. I remember when I was wearing this little green corduroy pantsuit. Then I was at a Greyhound bus station with my mother, and the bus was delayed. People were sitting there. No one was talking to each other. I was bored. So I just started like flirting with a lady who was over there and being all cutesy, and then over here to somebody, and everyone was saying how cute I was, and all of a sudden everyone was talking to each other about how cute I was. And then I did perform my little ABCs and whatever tricks I had up my sleeve, and before I knew it, everybody was talking and getting to know each other and laughing. And I was not unaware, even at that young age, I brought all these people together. It was kind of interesting. And then when I was 6 years old, I was in foster care. My mom was severely mentally ill. She very severely schizophrenic and in and out of mental institutions. So she was institutionalized from the time I was 5 to right before my 8th birthday. And I was 6 years old. I was in foster care, and I went to this school. They were putting on a Christmas show, and I had to sing "Oh Christmas Tree" on this little stage with them, and I'm just sitting there singing "Oh Christmas Tree," but the lights you couldn't see, and I just was transported into this whole other world, and my imagination singing about this Christmas tree, how beautiful, and it was like it transported me out of my horrible reality and out of my horrible situation. And when I was on stage, it was freedom for me. It was an escape. It was amazing. And as I got older, when I watched shows like The Brady Bunch, and they lived in a very clean house with 6 kids, and my mother was a hoarder, and we had cockroaches, and I looked at The Brady Bunch, and their biggest problem was, is Jan allergic to Tiger the dog? Or, no, it's just the flea powder. Yay, our problem is solved. And I was like, people live like this? I want to go inside that TV where people live like that. And it was the Sound of Music. Mary Poppins was the first movie I ever saw. And there's Miss Julie Andrews with a spoonful of sugar and cleaning up the room with just a little ta-ta-ta and singing with the birds. And then the second movie I saw was Sound of Music. And here's Julie Andrews again, being Julie Andrews. Oh my God, I wanted Julie Andrews to be my mother forever.
And you got to meet her, which I know is something you still hold dear today, don't
you? Well, I have met her a couple of times, and I say the same thing, exactly the same thing to her every time I meet her, and that is, that's it.
And she says, I get it. I get it.
She says, are you all right, dear? You okay, Charlene? And I'm like, that's all I say.
Did you ever get a chance to go to the Brady Bunch house after HGTV renovated it and go in and see? Because you would be like,
no, I haven't, but I know it.
That would be right.
Yeah.
Tiger. I know what you mean. The shows really did create this feeling for many, many people of comfort and security and things to aspire to if they weren't necessarily experiencing what they were seeing on TV. Did you ever get a chance? Well, I'm sure you have, to meet any of the cast in the Brady Bunch or Florence Henderson.
I know them all. Yeah.
Florence. I had a chance to do several things with her in the past, and she was a real delight. Florence Henderson, just the real deal too. I mean, funny off camera, saucy and witty, and as much as she played the wonderful Carol Brady, she just really was, and of course is greatly missed. So how did that? So you have that, and you're at the bus stop and entertaining everybody, and they're like, look at her go. How did that then progress to, actually being on sets and being in films and something like a Freaky Friday and things of that nature? How did that happen?
Well, when I was in foster care, I was alone a lot. And then when I was reunited with my mother right before my 8th birthday, I was a latchkey kid. I went to Vine Street Elementary School. So I walked to school, came back. I just developed a great imagination. First of all, I loved to read from the time I was very young, and books were everything to me. And I just developed an imagination, and I would like to try to play different characters. And I would look at people, and from a very early age, and try to say, are they happy? Are they sad? What are they feeling right now? I don't know. I just always had this, I just loved people and wanted to feel what they were feeling, if that makes any sense. And I just loved stepping into other characters. And from the time I was 8 years old, I took the bus, the RTD bus on Santa Monica Boulevard, and went to different theater arts, acting things. And I went into one and I said, look, my mom can't afford lessons, but I will do cleaning. I will clean and work for you. Just give me free lessons. And they said, okay, come in. And so I got little drama lessons, little tap dance lessons, all for free. And I never did any work for them. But, that was the Krasner sisters. God bless them. And so I had my little drama lessons, and all through at Hollywood High School, we had a great teacher, Mr. Milton, and the class in the play production class was so talented. And it was there on stage. We did a play called Elizabeth I, and I played 9 different characters, one of which was a mime. So all the characters were just like really small little walk-ons. And then afterwards, there was our director, Mr. Melton, was talking with somebody, a woman, and I heard her say, yes, but who was that little blonde girl, the one who played the Muscovite? And I said, well, that was me. She said, well, I'm an agent at such and such agency. Are you interested? And I said, yes. So she wanted me to get 8x10 pictures. At the time, you needed to have your headshots. I didn't have money, so I took my school picture across the street to duplicate photos on Highland Avenue and had my picture duplicated there. And she used that. And Freaky Friday was my second audition. And I got that part. And in the movie, the original Freaky Friday, Jodie Foster is on a water ski team. And I am one of her friends on that water ski team. And so, of course, at the audition, they asked me if I could water ski. I'd never seen a water ski before. I didn't even know what a water ski was. I said, oh, yeah. I said, I compete in water skiing. Yeah, I've got several trophies. And I got the part. So
you were a terrific salesperson.
Well, on the day of filming, because Jodie Foster was a big star, she had filmed Taxi Driver already, and it hadn't come out yet, but she had filmed it. And there was, of course, great talk about her performance in that. She was a big star. So she had been given water ski lessons. So they just took me at my word, thinking I knew how to water ski. So here's Jodie and myself. We're on water skis on the dock, holding onto the ropes, and the boat is supposed to take off. And we're supposed to stand and do our routine. And I said, I literally prayed. I said, God, if you let me stay up on these skis, I'll do anything for you, God. So the boat took off. We went on our skis, and Jodie and I both went down. Okay, so take 2, action. The boat took off. Miraculously, I water skied. I don't know how. I stayed up on those skis. I have no idea. I am the most unathletic person on the planet. I cannot run. I cannot throw a ball, catch a ball. I cannot do anything. I am so unathletic. For some reason, I stood up. I stayed on those skis.
Then again, you know what that prepared you for? Battle of the Network Stars, see? That was the preparation for Battle of the Network Stars.
Yeah, well, see, I was in the dunk tank. That I could do. Just sit there. Oh, Mr. Scott, so-and-so. You dunk me. And, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't you dare dunk me.
That is hilarious. Of course, the cult following and Freaky Friday. And then Happy Days comes along, and we've been blessed to have Marion Ross and Anson and Donnie Most and so many of them come through, Linda Pearl and all. How did that develop for you to be on such a terrific franchise as Happy Days? Gary Marshall and company. Wow.
Well, the dialogue coach on Freaky Friday, Bobby Hoffman, worked on Happy Days. And when this character came up, he said to Gary Marshall, "You've got to see this young actress. I just worked with her on Freaky Friday. She's amazing. She has got it all. She's one of the best young actresses I've ever worked with." And he told Gary Marshall this. So Gary Marshall called me in. I was like, oh my gosh. So thank you to Bobby Hoffman, working with him. But while I was on Freaky Friday, he also saw me trying to just soak up everything I could, learn about cameras, and I was always asking him questions and trying every line different ways. And I was he could see I was so involved. We had fun doing it. And Jodie Foster was amazing as well. She was so smart. She was studying geometry in French on the set, because we had to go to school on the set. I mean, she's a genius. But it was Bobby Hoffman who worked on Freaky Friday and recommended me to Gary Marshall. So I'm forever grateful for that.
That was a terrific thing to be a part of. And like I said, you've been a part of our lives when you really dig deep. I'm sure even when you go back and people bring things up, you're like, oh, that's right, I was in that and that and that. 8 is Enough, of course, the wonderful Dick Van Patten and Company, a great series on ABC. You got to be a part of that as well.
I know. I love it.
Yeah, huh?
Oh my gosh, that's memory lane.
Yes. Is that Willie Ames there with you, right?
Willie Ames. I played Willie Ames' girlfriend. Yes.
What was it like working with them and that set? And was it Betty Buckley who was there at that time?
Yes.
That's the mom. Yeah, Betty Buck. She's a wonderful, wonderful person too. An iconic series. What was it like working with them and of course Dick Van Patten?
They were all really nice. I was young. I was a little. I was just starting, and I was just trying to be the best I could be, and just it was all very exciting for me just to be able to be a parts of these shows that I loved.
Now, when this was happening, I mean, Freaky Friday, Happy Days, 8 is Enough. I mean, just these names alone, anybody would be happy just to be a part of those. The people that you knew, the family and friends and others, relatives, were they excited? Was the neighborhood supportive? What was that like around you as these opportunities and this exposure was happening for you, Charlene?
It was happening and quickly. And at the same time, I was still working at the Egyptian Theater on Hollywood Boulevard in the box office, selling tickets, and then at the concession counter, selling the popcorn and the candy and whatnot. So I was working there. And then I got a job across the street at a t-shirt shop called Super Shirts on Hollywood Boulevard, because I got a 20 cents an hour raise. And I was working there when I got Dallas. And I had my own apartment on Hollywood Boulevard. And the only reason I was able to rent an apartment being underage is because the manager of the apartment building, back then they didn't really ask questions anyway, but she she was the sweetest thing ever. And she had a bit of a drug problem, and she did some exotic dancing on the weekends. And so she didn't care who she rented to. She was really sweet. So I had my own apartment. I had gotten a mattress. That was the only furniture I had. I found 2 crates in an alley that I covered up with some cloth, and got 2 lamps. So that was my furniture. Mattress with 2 little light stands on these crates. And that's where I was living when I worked at Super Shirts, and I got the part on Dallas, and the manager of the apartment building and a couple of the other neighbors cut out a star on made of tinfoil, and I came home and they put the star on my apartment door, and that's where I was when I got the part of Dallas.
How beautiful is that? Wow, that is something quite special.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful, very heartwarming story. And even before, there was big Wendy.
Who knew more than I did that my life was going to change? I was like, oh, that's so, yeah, right, I'm a star. They could, no, they knew it.
Believed in you.
Yeah.
Truly believed in you, right? Like that story with Carol Burnett with that person that sort of put some money aside, I think, and she was never supposed to reveal who that person was with that little bit of money so she can pursue her dreams too. It's those little things like that that really make the magic, I think. And, you are a very inspiring person, considering people who don't know the backstory, the early years and what you've gone through and some of the things you described so beautifully and openly. But it provides hope for others who see a Charlene Tilton and the successes and the fact that, she's a real person, and the fact that, you can be in the glitz and the glamour and everything else and also get through the things you have to get through in life. And it's very, it's like you're a motivational speaker because they see that you've lived the real experience as much as being on screen doing everything you've done, which is really an extraordinary dichotomy that you've navigated beautifully, Charlene, to the best of your ability.
Yeah, to the best of my ability is the key. I mean, sometimes I drank my way through it. Sometimes I meditate my way through it. I always pray my way through it, no matter what. Always pray my way through it. But, the older I get, I feel the more centered I'm really trying to become in. If this makes any sense, sometimes you have to fight to be at peace, if that makes any sense at all. Fight for your inner peace. If these crazy thoughts come through your head, which they do mine all the time, you have to grab hold of them, take them down and say, not now, not now. I get so many thoughts, but you're not good enough. You're not this, all these things. And got to take control of your mind and your thoughts. Like in AA, it's one day at a time. Sometimes it's 1 minute at a time. It's, just trying to be at peace and present. I remember when I was living in Studio City, I would go to this gas station all the time on Laurel Canyon and Magnolia. And all the time. And I would see the same gentleman that worked there. And I never pay at the pump because I don't use my credit card at the pump. I always pay in cash because they always say your credit card gets
hacked or something, right? Yeah.
So I go in every time and I say, $20 on 6 or whatever. And have a great day. Thank you very much. But I'd watch the people in line, pack of cigarettes. Here's this Slurpee. That nobody would say hello, goodbye, thank you, nothing. And there was no eye contact, but every day. And I could be coming from an event or going to an event dressed to the nines with the lashes and all that, or just in sweats with no makeup and a hat on. Still the same reaction. No eye contact, nothing. And finally, and I would always make sure when I was there just to say a prayer for this gentleman who was working so hard that it looked like nobody was even noticing him. And I would always just say a prayer saying, Lord, just bless this gentleman. Take care of him and his family. Just bless him. Let him have a good day today. And finally, after over a year of seeing him every day, thank you very much. Have a nice day. And no response. One day he looks at me, he says, you too. Thank you. It took a year, but I'm like,
a year, but
God bless him. There's a human being in there.
Right.
There's a human being in there. And people were just coming up and throwing money and saying, give me 10 on 6. Give me.
Just
instead of may I please have, thank you.
Right. Makes a world of difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes a world of difference, my friend. That's beautiful. This is, again, just another testament to why people love you so much, because you're so real and you get the program. With all these great shows and movies and everything you've been a part of. One that we, of course, remember, Big Wednesday.
Oh my God.
You feel like you're on This Is Your Life, right? Ralph Edwards?
I do. That's amazing.
Yeah, huh? Big Wednesday. Tell us about how that came about for you, too. People remember Big Wednesday.
Went on
You've been in everything, Charlene Tilton. Everything.
I went on the audition and I got the part, and it was a small part. I'll tell you one thing that's funny. Everything I'm wearing in all of these pictures,
Yeah.
Happy Days cheerleader, everything is my own clothes.
Really? That's how it was?
Yeah. This is my own bathing suit. I remember this bathing suit. But Big Wednesday, so it was supposed to be, just a scene on the beach. Well, Gary Busey took it upon himself to add some lines or whatever, which was fine, but I was really connected with him, and I answered back. I didn't, and then all of a sudden, on one of the takes, he just jumps on me and we start rolling in the sand, and that's what they kept in the movie. And I thought it was great to have somebody improv with you like that, and just, especially a big star like Gary Busey. He knew I was up for it. He knew I was up for the challenge. That he goes, would you mind if I throw you some extra dialogue? And I go, sure. He knew I would do it, so I did.
How cool is that? Wow. So you just rolled with it. He threw it at you, you took it, and you ran with
Literally
it?
rolled with it in the
Literally. And of course, Martin Mullen Company. We remember the beloved Martin Mullen Company. Fernwood Tonight. You had an opportunity to be on that as well. It's amazing, right?
Yes, I was a reoccurring regular on Fernwood Tonight. I played Debbie Dunbar, the head of the Dunbar sisters, and we would come on and do our acts, always dressed scantily clad in little bikinis or cute little shorts or something, and we would do tap dancing. But of course, it would be shuffle, step, shuffle, step. And they would be going, bravo, bravo. Have you ever seen tap dancing like that? Says Fred Astaire, bravo. Ginger Rogers, eat your heart out. And it would shuffle, step. Whatever our talent was that week, whatever it was, we were always horrible at it, but we were beautiful.
But you're beautiful. You've played comedic roles, you've played endearing roles, thrillers, and then something that was really riveting. And these types of movies of that time really would stop traffic. And this was, I believe, a movie of the week, Diary of a Teenage Hitchhiker. I mean, to be involved in that, to be cast in that, let's go back to 1979, Julie Thurston. When you got the opportunity to be a part of that, and of course, Dominic Dunn, working with her and all, what was that experience like for you? People still refer to that because a lot of people hitchhiked at the time, and it was a big thing. We all know people that were doing that. And yet to see it sort of talked about on television in a movie in that way, and you were brilliant in it. Everybody was riveting. These were like groundbreaking types of movies. Tell us about working with everybody, and what was it like being a part of that?
There's my Dominique Dunn.
Yeah.
That other actress is Carlene Crockett. She ended up coming to play my friend Muriel on Dallas.
Yes.
But doing Diary of a Teenage Hitchhiker, what was interesting about it is because hitchhiking was very big at the time. There were girls that I went to high school with, that would hitchhike. And I remember one girl that I went to with, Randy, she was hitchhiking. We wanted to get somewhere. And I know it sounds crazy, but to have a quarter for the bus, sometimes you didn't have it. And so she said, I forgot where we wanted to go, the beach or something. And she said, we'll just hitchhike. And I'm like, she goes, no, it's the two of us together. We'll be okay. And I'm like, oh. And so we put our thumbs out, and within like 1 second, this white van comes up. And I said, absolutely not getting into a van. No, Randy, don't do it. And she says, well, I'm going. I said, no, don't get. She did. She went, and I didn't. She went and got, and she insisted. She got at the door, and I was like, no, I took the license plate. She ended up being fine. She had a great time, but it was like, no, don't do that. But that Diary of a Teenage Hitchhiker. But the thing, of course, I remember the most about that was Dominique Dunn, who I loved. And boy, oh boy, I read her brother Griffin Dunn's book, which is a must read for anybody. It's a beautiful book. It talks about his life, his family's life, talks about Dominique, and Griffin is a brilliant writer. I don't know Griffin, but I knew his sister very well, and I loved her very, very much. And that is a sad story.
Yeah.
Sad story, and shame on the justice system. What happened there?
Absolutely right. I agree 100%, Charlene. But that, that movie that you guys were in is still referenced and talked about today. It was a real riveting role, and you were speaking to a lot of people who, were doing that and were just trying to get through. And you were part of so many groundbreaking things too. In addition to something like that, you also were in Sweater Girls, Policewoman, James at 16.
James at 15. I was in James at 15, not
15. Back in 1978 for an episode of that. And Laverne and Shirley, Fantasy Island, Love Boat, Knots Landing. But then there's The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
Back in 1979. That was cool, huh?
That was, yes, with Martin Landau, Ray Walston, Demetra Arliss. Yeah, they're The Fall of the House. Oh, and Robert Hayes. Robert Hayes. In fact, while we were doing the movie, Robert Hayes said, I'm going to be doing this movie called Airplane. He goes, you want to read the script? And I went, okay. Oh my God. I said, this is the funniest thing ever. Yeah, he was brilliant in Airplane, but yeah.
Yeah, that was, that's, the comedic timing too that he had. Fantastic. Of course, you're in The Fall Guy, Hotel, New Love, American Style, Murder, She Wrote, as I mentioned. She has been a part of our lives in so many different things. But of course, Dallas comes along, as you mentioned, which turned out to be something, working with Larry Hagman, of course, who everybody remembered previously as Major Nelson. Matter of fact, we have the I Dream of Jeannie bottle right over there. And what was it like, that opportunity to be a part of such an iconic series as Dallas? And I know you've had recent reunions with cast at South Fork and other things that have happened, which has been really endearing and beautiful. But the amount of talent and wonderful people, you included, of course, is extraordinary on this set. Linda Gray and Patrick Duffy, everybody. What was that like?
Well, first of all, it was amazing because I was 17 when I started the show, but
yeah,
the work ethic, Barbara Bel Geddes, considered one of our first ladies of the American theater, and she was nominated for an Academy Award for I Remember Mama. And then right. Jim Davis, of course, iconic actor, and then Larry Hagman, and all these people had such stellar work ethics. And even though I was young, they did not coddle me, but they sure expected me to, be professional. And I learned from the best. They were the best. And Larry Hagman led the charge. He got us all together. We were together off camera, on camera. We loved each other, still do. I'm going to see Linda Gray, Patrick Duffy, Steve Canale this weekend in Knoxville at Knoxville Fanboy Expo. So we see each other and love each other, and it's great. And and speaking of groundbreaking, one of the great things on Dallas was one of my I had some great groundbreaking storylines for the character of Lucy Ewing. Lucy was engaged to marry Kit Mainwaring, who was the son of another wealthy oil family in Dallas. So they were planning the big wedding, almost like a royal wedding. And in fact, I think that's what the episode was called. It was a 3-episode arc. But Kit Mainwaring had to confess to me. He said, "Lucy, I love you. And it's because I love you, I have to tell you, I can't marry you because I'm a homosexual." They couldn't use the word gay. And when you think back then, number one, it wasn't a topic that was discussed. Oh, and he said, and JR knows. And there's going to be trouble because JR is going to out me. He's going to tell everybody. And I said, oh, no. I will stop JR from doing that. But back then, you know how many people went ahead and tried to get married or got married instead of because they were trying to please their family or something else, and they weren't being authentic to themselves, or the fact that he came out, it was just written so beautifully. And Mark Wheeler, the actor who played Kit Mainwaring, was phenomenal to work with. That's one of my favorite storylines. So for Lucy, and the way that they wrote Lucy handling it was fantastic. And then another one was Lucy was raped and became pregnant through the rape. So Lucy decided to have an abortion. She told Miss Ellie, Grandma, that I can't imagine looking at a baby, knowing where it came from. And through the discussions, which were written beautifully, Lucy chose to have an abortion. Again, I mean, that was 50 years ago. We're still talking about that. But Lucy chose to have an abortion. And while I was filming that storyline, I was actually pregnant with my beautiful daughter, Cherish, who I wanted very much. So I would be having to be an actress and saying these things like, I can't have this baby. I don't want this baby. There's no way I can, and all these scenes about not wanting this child. And so I would be wearing I'd be wearing Walkman headphones across my belly, playing classical music and on my belly for Cherish. I would always say, Cherish, Mommy loves you. I love you. I love you. And then, of course, Lucy had her time where she was addicted to pills. So groundbreaking. There was, yeah.
How much of Lucy is Charlene and Charlene is Lucy?
When I read the original description for the character of Lucy, she was described as a manipulative sex pot, hopping from bed to bed, from man to man, born with a silver spoon, having everything money can buy. But JR drove her mama and daddy off the ranch. So she doesn't have her parents, Gary and Valene Ewing. Automatically, I knew, because I had never met my father. I didn't know who my father was. My mother was in and out of mental institutions, so I knew what it was like not to have my parents. And I said, that's what it is. She's trying to fill a void. She's going from man to man because there's something missing in her life. All the things that money can buy aren't making up for it. And so I knew it wasn't just what was written on the page. I knew the vulnerabilities. I knew what made Lucy tick. the minute I read that description, and I said, oh, I've got her. So I understood Lucy from the minute I read the description of the character. I got her. I said, she's mine. I have to do her. She's my part. Yep.
The casting was brilliant for everybody, including yourself. It really was so beautifully cast. And
that was Barbara Miller, the iconic Barbara Miller.
Yes, really. It just, and again, it was so, these shows, Dallas, Knots Landing, all of them were just groundbreaking. And how does it feel for you, having done this so many years and enjoying the ride as best as possible and really getting so much from it, when you hear from people who can sometimes even tell you the dialogue from the episodes? You know, a lot of these shows are having these resurgences now, 50 years, 40 years, 60 years anniversaries. It's probably because it was a job, you were doing your thing and, you know, knocking it out of the park, but the fans were riding along the way, and they are still to this day sharing in the revelry of all of it as they go along. That must make you feel pretty good.
Well, during the pandemic, Dallas was brought back on Amazon, and people all over the world, they rewatched it, rediscovered it, and people, Linda Gray, Patrick Duffy, myself were at German Comic-Con like 2 years ago, and there were like 50,000 people my age when I started the show, and we're just crying, saying, I love you. And, you know, we're able to get together and meet fans. And the thing I love about our cast is we are so genuinely appreciative of the people that love the show and love the characters. They mean the world to us. They really do. And I'm just fortunate enough that I'm able to, now at my age, I am a grandmother. I have two adorable grandsons, 8 and 4 years old, and I'm a grandmother, and I get to do character parts now, which is great. And I love that. That's, you know, Lucy Ewing was great, you know, but there's my little grandsons and my daughter Cherish. But
that's a beautiful shot of all of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And but now I get to do character parts. I've got that movie Final Recovery that's out on Amazon right now, and
talk about character parts, huh? This is something viewers may recall. Jasper Cole's been a guest several times on our show, and he's a great friend, and the two of them linked up together, and it's extraordinary the work that they did on this. And really tell us about that, because that's recent for everybody.
Yes. Well, I play,
and the reviews are incredible.
I am like dizzy, humbled. The things that are being said about my performance, they're comparing me to Kathy Bates in Misery or Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and just how nobody, being a Dallas fan, would ever believe this, that I'm like the scariest thing out there right now. I play Nanny Lou, who runs a drug rehabilitation center. And I'm very sweet, and I'm Nanny Lou. But underneath, Nanny Lou is doing some very despicable things, and we don't know it right away. And I understand. The movie opens with my character, it opens with a flashback. My character at 10 years old. That, by the way, is my daughter Cherish that you're seeing in her chosen hat, which she designed. That's her line of clothes, by the way.
That's cool.
But she's also in the movie. But so it opens in a flashback with my character at 10 years old, witnessing my father getting murdered by a drug addict. And so I want to help drug addicts. I want to do things, but then I get more and more frustrated. I get more and more angry. And then as they start to, after they've served their time in the drug rehabilitation center, I get them hooked back on drugs. And then they start disappearing. But you don't know, because sweet Nanny Lou you can't believe Sweet Nanny Lou is doing all these evil things.
How much did you enjoy taking on that role?
It was the role of a lifetime. I really sunk my teeth into it. It was just written on script. It took place at Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I came to Michigan to the set. I flew with all my own Christmas. I bought Christmas, all my own Christmas sweaters.
You've always been bringing your own clothing, right?
and you see Nanny Lou sipping tea out of a Christmas mug that says joy. I brought that. She teaches crochet. So I had my friend who crochets do me a Santa Claus and a Christmas tree that I could finish. She started. So, I wear a little child's barrette a little girl's barrette, because when you are traumatized at a certain age, your growth is stunted somewhere. So I'm still wearing just my little girl's barrette from 10 years old. Just little, I don't know. She's a crazy, wacky character, and she's evil to the core. But you can't see it at first.
You don't see it at first. It sort of comes out a little bit later. You have this real cool story, I'll let you tell it, about a meeting with Prince. And this involves Saturday Night Live, too, which just celebrated their 50th anniversary recently. Very cool experience for you.
Yes, there I was on Saturday Night Live. I was the host. Prince was the unbilled musical guest. Todd Rundgren was the musical guest. And I was staying at the Plaza Hotel. They had sent a car to pick me up for the first day of rehearsal. I'm in the elevator coming down, and with my manager, and the door opens in the elevator. We're going down, and a gentleman who's not tall at all, about my height, walks in, and he's with another gentleman who's very tall. But the gentleman who is about my height is wearing these platform shoes that are this big. Oh my gosh. Can I ask, where did you get those shoes? Did you get those here in New York? I'm an actress and I'm doing a show this week, and I need to go get those shoes. Did you get them here? Where did you get those shoes? And he said, well, I know who you are, Charlene. I'm a fan of yours, and I'm going to be doing Saturday Night Live with you. I'm going to be performing. And I went, oh, great. What's your name? And he said, Prince. I said, oh, cool. Well, I did not know who he was at the time. A lot of people didn't know who he was at the time. So they had a car for him and a car for me. We ended up deciding, let's carry on our conversation and drive together. So we did. And he was very nice, kept assuring me that I was going to do very well, even though I was very nervous. And so it's a very famous introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Prince. And then what happened right after that changed the world. It was never the same. He performed and history was made.
Absolutely right. So many movies, Christmas movies you've been in. And of course, this is more recent, Sarah's Choice as well. And Married with Children, another terrific one. You enjoyed being on that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That gang?
Yeah, that was great.
There's so many. But aside from the television and the film and all of that, a wonderful singing career.
No, not really. Oh, there's a face.
There you are on the telethon, but a song that is still revered today. This is something very special. C'est la vie. People might not or don't know about the singing side of Charlene Tilton, but
there's not much to say about it. I am not a singer.
I knew you'd say that.
No, I am not a singer. It was a catchy tune that was very big in Europe with all the clubs in Europe and stuff.
Absolutely.
I am not a singer. My daughter is a wonderful singer, but I am not. And I did that one thing. I did get a chance, though, not that long ago, to at the Pasadena Playhouse Theater in Los Angeles. I did Snow White. I was the evil queen. I was the wicked queen. Ariana Grande was Snow White. Neil Patrick Harris was the mirror, and I got to sing a little bit in that. I got to sing 1.5 songs. That was it. But that was because, I can act those songs. I was the wicked queen, so it was okay. I didn't have to sing like Ariana Grande, because who can sing like her?
Exactly.
Not me. So, but yeah, that was fun. But no, I am not a singer.
So many incredible. You were honored by the Young Artists Foundation, former Child Star Lifetime Achievement Award for your role as Lucy Ewing. Lots of accolades, lots of awards as well. Being a part of the Middle in 2015 as well.
Oh, that's great.
Problem Child 2, supporting role in the film Problem Child 2. And Border Shootout, working with Glenn Ford. I mean, another incredible legend. You've worked with a lot of incredible people.
That was a Western, and I loved
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really cool. Glenn Ford, again, another iconic figure in so many of our lives. And I know you have to scoot out because you've got some little cool one waiting for you.
I got to get my grandsons to karate.
You got to believe. You are so giving in various ways that I think is philanthropic. You've loved being a part of this, you got to believe, in New York, and then also Actors for Autism. Tell us about some of these things that are really near and dear to your heart that people might not realize you really give your time and attention.
Well, You Got to Believe is an incredible organization in New York that helps kids in foster homes, and especially about children that are about to age out. They help place children in foster homes. They help the kids as they're aging out. They provide services, therapy, and all kind, job searches, training, and You Got to Believe is an amazing organization in New York, and I do everything I can for them. God bless Seth Radusky and James Wesley for doing this, because that organization is amazing. What they do, I have met these kids many times. I've kept in touch with them, and they're doing amazing work. And Actors for Autism, I got to be a part of, and teaching autistic children acting exercises and improv classes, but just the rudimentary acting exercises really helps them center themselves and makes them more responsive. And the work with Actors for Autism, I was with them for 9 years and teaching kids who were nonverbal. 9 years later, they're making their own little films and they're doing great. So that's another wonderful organization.
Another reason why you're such a beautiful person inside and out, and everybody loves you, Charlene Tilton. Truly, you have always given back. You've always been the real deal. Super talented, super funny and witty and kind. We've had some great texting and phone conversations and laughs along the way. And I hope we do with Jasper, what have you, get together, break bread, dinner on me for everybody. Really.
I would love it. You let me know if you come to Nashville.
Yes, we have a lot of friends there.
You know what they're starting to film? Ryan Murphy is starting to film 911 Nashville, because 911 is one of my favorite shows. Do you ever watch with Angela?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And you want to be on it.
911 Nashville. Oh my God. I would do craft service for Ryan Murphy. Yes. He's a genius. I would do anything for him.
What would Charlene up today say to that little girl that was at that bus stop entertaining everybody while they were waiting for the bus? What would you say to her now?
Still, even at 67 years old, don't give up. Don't give up. Every day, there's a challenge every day, no matter how great life is going. Everybody has something to deal with. Just don't give up. Keep pursuing it. I'm fortunate. I have my grandsons, and I look forward to embarrassing the hell out of them, dancing at their wedding, embarrassing them when I'm 90 years old, 100 years old, somehow, some way, just being the wacky grandma. See, the older you get, the crazier you can be. So,
and then you get to.
They call me Glammy.
Glammy.
Glamour.
Well, of course.
Because when my daughter was pregnant, I said, "Do I look like a mean ma to you? I am no mean ma, so that ain't happening." Somebody said, "Well, you're glamorous. What about Glammy?" And that has stuck. So I'm Glammy.
Yes, you are. Yes, you.
Yeah. Their teachers, when they see me, when I drop them off to school, would disagree, but that's okay.
Have they seen this shot?
Actually, my youngest grandson saw a clip of Dallas and thought that Barbara Bel Geddes. Oh, that's Glenn. Right.
That's good, right? See?
No. I'm me, the young one with the long.
The young, right. That is hilarious. You are really a delight, truly a delight. And I say to everybody, Charlene, we keep the porch light on for them. So you are welcome back here anytime you just want to stop by, say hello. It's got new things you're excited about. It's the holidays, whatever it is. Come back and see us. And let's definitely stay in touch. Really thoroughly enjoyed you. And of course, everything you've done all these years. I've followed you intently and really honored to have you stop by our show. You know, you're very busy, got a lot of things going on, and you are a blessing. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you, Charlene.
And I want all of your listeners and viewers to let me know what they think about Final Recovery on Amazon and Tubi, because I have never done a horror movie before. I love thrillers, but like I can't do like the movie Saw or Chucky, things like that. It's
right. You like psychological thrillers like I do, but not necessarily the blood and gut stuff, right?
This one is a thriller that turns into a horror movie, and I had a blast with that. And I love my character, Nanny Lou, so she's evil. So let me know what y'all think.
Absolutely. The reviews, like you said, have been fantastic too, which is amazing.
Like reviews like this, crazy.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
So
she's in Final Recovery with our friend Jasper Cole, who's a dear friend of ours as well. You are a blessing, truly, and thanks for stopping by. And I truly hope you did enjoy the time with me as much as I have.
I did. Love you, Jim. God bless you all.
We love you back. Go get that grandkid, okay?
Thank you. Karate.
We'll talk soon. That's right. We'll talk soon. Take care, Charlene. Bye-bye now. Is she not amazing? Not only a pro, but a hoot and a holler. She literally is going to get her grandkid. Our grandson is at karate, and she's scooting off. She's there in Nashville, Tennessee, USA. And right on the dot. She's there going to get him. Wow. She's amazing. We love her. You know, there's a lot of different things we talked about when talking about the wonderful Charlene Tilton, the extraordinary television, film, stage actress, beloved. Singer too, yeah. She was funny when she was talking about her singing skills, but I've heard her voice. She's good. Yeah, she sang 1.5 songs recently, she said. This goes back in time. But boy, we've talked about so many incredible things. But, you know, we really just scratched the surface of her extraordinary career. There are so many other shows and so many other movies and different things that she's been a part of and performances over the years. Favorite Deadly Sins, The Silence of the Hams, Haunted Lives, True Ghost Stories. She's done Lifetime and Hallmark movies as well. Good versus Evil, Bar Hopping, Safety Patrol. I mean, it goes back all the way back to the 1970s. Sarah's Choice, which we talked about. Paranormal Calamity, #1 Cheerleader Camp, superhero movie. Just scrolling through. I mean, the list is tremendous, everybody. Getting It Straight, A Distant Thunder, Dickie Roberts, former child star, Point of Entry, The Middle, which we talked about, Dr. Spine and Lucky Dog and Vengeance, a Love Story, and Road Less Traveled, Second Chance Christmas. She enjoys doing the Christmas movies, she was telling me off air. A Welcome Home Christmas as well. Starting Up Love, A Unicorn for Christmas was another really cool one she's been in. The Nan's Project, #Proposal. You know, she's still doing it. She's been doing this for several decades now, well past the years of Freaky Friday and Dallas and Happy Days and 8 is Enough. God's Not Dead and God We Trust was another terrific one back in 2024. Of course, Final Recovery. Check it out on Tubi. It's really, really good. Jasper Cole, terrific actor, dear friend. He's in it. Charlene, all of these incredible people we've been talking about. She was also, I mean, just in that time period, she was in The Nana Project, Newsboys and God We Trust, Ladybug, God's Not Dead and God We Trust, and Final Recovery, just in a period of like months. It's amazing, right? And going all the way back to Fernwood Tonight, Laverne and Shirley, Knots Landing, Fantasy Island, The Fall Guy. She was in Murder, She Wrote, The Love Boat, and Hotel. As I mentioned, just looking down this list here, James at 15, all of these incredible, iconic shows. She's really, truly been a part of our lives for such a long time. Truly a delight. The one and only Charlene Tilton, television, film, stage star, and great conversation too. And she is a real person. You know what I mean? That's what's great about her. She is this, of course, from the Dallas years. She's a straight shooter. This from Freaky Fridays. And of course, this from Dallas as well. Taking you back in time, right? An amazing person. And she and I have been talking about her joining us here exclusively on the Jim Masters show for quite some time. And I'm glad everything came together. And we have good conversations here. Yeah, we talk about, of course, the things you know her for. But then I think you got a chance to know a little bit more about Charlene Tilton, the person, here on the Jim Masters show, then and now and through the years, and her personal story of growing up and her family dynamic. And she's very open about everything, which I think is very inspiring for everybody, and the wonderful family that she has now. Got a chance to talk a little bit about that. And just so many incredible things. Yep, of course, you guys know her from Dallas. And hard to believe how many years it's been since Dallas debuted on CBS. Linda Gray was a guest on our show. If you got a chance to see the episode with Linda Gray, I'm sure you enjoyed it. Hopefully you did. If you didn't, it's archived. We have so many incredible people who have stopped by the Jim Masters show series to join us to, go down memory lane with us, but also talk about the things that they're passionate about and things that they are excited about and to remember. And Charlene Tilton did that with us on this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, folks, here you're watching the Jim Masters Show Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show Series. There is, of course, another fantastic thing in her life. Yep. Popular song, too. And good stuff, gang. We love her. We love you. And yeah, we're going to head out to Nashville and break bread and dinner on me for sure. Absolutely. I got a lot of people to break bread with, don't I, gang? If you enjoyed this episode, well, you know what to do. We hope you give this a thumbs up like. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up like. We love that. And that helps us continue to grow, and share this on your social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this episode, drop a comment below and let us know what you enjoyed. What are some of your favorite Charlene Tilton memories, shows, performances, productions, movies that she's been a part of? She was in TV commercials as well. Just everywhere, omnipresent. And all starting from back when she was on that bus stop and she was entertaining people waiting for the bus there in California, and got noticed, and the rest is history. Freaky Friday came along, and Happy Days, and Dallas, and all these other incredible treats that we've had an opportunity to enjoy throughout our lives. And all of these, of course, you can see on the nostalgic channels, archival channels, and she's involved in independent productions and so much more. She is a hoot and a holler, the incomparable Charlene Tilton, joining us here on the Jim Masters Show series for all of you. And I love her story about You Gotta Believe, which is in New York. She's involved in so many wonderful organizations, Actors for Autism. That's a beautiful story as well. So when you look back, no matter what it is that you've enjoyed as far as things that Charlene Tilton has been in, whether it's Dallas or anything else, you've had an opportunity to spend some time with her and with us here on the Jim Masters Show. We love having you here. Don't forget to love one another, take care of one another, and be sure and come see us again. Follow us on all the socials at Facebook, X, and Instagram at Jim Masters TV. If you like what you're watching here, well, do you know that there's hundreds and hundreds of episodes that you can go back and binge watch as well in the archives? Go check out some of your favorites. Happy Days, the gang was here. Marianne Ross and Anson Williams was here, and Donnie Most and many others. And yeah, cool people been here, and we love it. So come see us again. And if this was your first time watching, as we always say, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome everybody. This is your first taste of the Jim Masters Show Entertainment Celebrity Talk Show Series. It's great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us. You're a part of the family now. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about our series. And again, we just scratched the surface of Charlene Tilton's iconic Hollywood career. She makes her home in Nashville, Tennessee, USA. She's got a beautiful family, and she gets it. She gets the program, and I think that's what people have always loved about her. She's very open, and she's real, and she's honest. She's incredibly talented. And again, look at that face. All I say is don't cut her off on the highway. If she's driving, don't cut her off. Don't cut her off in the supermarket either, because you never know. Bang. You might see this from Final Recovery. She's a gem. She's a sweetheart in and out. And she was a joy to have here on our show. I truly hope you enjoyed it. Let us know. And come see us again. Don't forget to love one another, take care of one another, and don't forget to do the very same for yourself. It's really important to do that. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Love having you here. Thanks for joining us along with Charlene Tilton for this great episode of conversation and a few laughs as well. Great memories and inspiring, poignant moments too. We go deep here at JMS, and we love having you with us. You be well. Come see us on the next one. I'll be right here waiting for you. We thank Charlene Tilton, and we thank you. Take care and cheers.